Over the last few days, I've been getting messages from people who are being attacked and scrutinized for their decision to go vegan from, coworkers, friends, and even family, and I know personally that that can be a hard thing to deal with. And, it's not easy. And they don't make it easier for you because there's no encouragement there and there's no, motivation. And that's why I think a lot of people quit, going vegan or quit the vegan lifestyles because they feel now they're in a position where they're out of place in life. And, they don't like the idea of being humiliated for their decisions. And the fact that people are making it harder for them to live their lifestyle according to their own will. And that comes from the belief system, what's been indoctrinated into you as a belief from a child. And when you carry these things into adulthood, especially when you don't question these beliefs, in your mind they become facts. And to some people it's a fact that we need meat and dairy, for strong bones, muscle, and things like that. This is not a real fact, but in the people's mind, it is. And when you start to go against that belief and tell people that you don't need meat and dairy in their life for strong bones, for muscle growth, and other health benefits, they look at you like you're crazy because you're going against something that they've been told was truth. And these people, because they don't know how to defend their own beliefs, because they never questioned it, start to humiliate those who don't believe in what they believe in. And that's a problem. And it's a difficult thing to deal with because now you have to deal with people's immaturity. A lot of people don't know how to confront the situation and ask questions because a lot of people don't want to feel like they don't know something, or that they're being belittled by somebody that might have information that they could use. So for the vegan, it's easy to scrutinize them because you don't understand where they're coming from, or you don't care to know where they're coming from because you've been told you need meat, dairy, and all these other things that have been proven to be a detriment to our health. You've been told that we need these things. So as a vegan, I would tell the vegan who's dealing with this this attitude from these people is to challenge them. If you think, I will let them know that if you think that me being vegan is funny and I eat plants and I don't eat meat and dairy and all these other things, how many people do you know that suffer with heart disease, diabetes, or any other kind of disease associated with meat, cancer, gout? How many people do you know lost their lives because of the bad choices they make? These things are not funny. It's easy to mock the vegan, haha, you only eat fruits, vegetables, and grains or whatever. But look into the Western diet and ask yourself, why is this killing off so many people? Why are almost 700,000 people a year dying from heart disease associated with the things that they eat? Dairy, meat, eggs, all of these things high in cholesterol, hard on the heart, hard to digest, and cause a numerous amounts of disease. That's nothing to laugh about. And these are the things that vegans are trying to avoid. These are the pitfalls of bad diet that vegans are trying to avoid, other than, animal rights and, preserving the life of animals, because we don't have the right to take their lives from them. But from a health perspective, nobody's laughing at these people dying of heart disease. Nobody's laughing at these people with cancer. Nobody's laughing at these people with diabetes. So why is it funny when somebody who's actually doing something to preserve their health, funny? Like, how did that become a thing? And, this is something that we deal with a lot. People think that it's hilarious. But I would challenge these people to question your own beliefs. Question your own traditions. Some people think that these things that they inherit or that their family inherit, like these diseases, are passed down from generation to generation because of bad genetics. And I would say that I disagree with that. I think that poor diet is a part of, your family's traditions. And that's why, you see so many people in your family with the same traits or the same diseases and end up in the same position in life. It's the poor diet, the poor decisions that they make. It's not genetics. And in order to break that cycle, you know, a lot of us turn to veganism. A lot of us want to be more healthy. We don't want to, succumb to illness at young ages where we have to depend on medicine to, remain intact. I know I don't. And I don't understand why it's funny when, vegans decide that they don't want this for themselves or their family members either. So it becomes, this kind of like, joke. And, it's very unfortunate. But me personally, I challenge these people. Question your own beliefs. Question your own traditions. Everything that you've been taught from a child. I don't care what it is. Don't be afraid to confront it, question it, put it under the microscope and question, is this for me? Is this right for my family? Is this right for, my health, my community? And if it's not, then you need to change it. Instead of, laughing at new information, because this is where a lot of misunderstanding comes from. This is where, race discrimination comes from, sex discrimination, and things of that nature, because you fail to understand, somebody else's perspective. You fail to understand, somebody else's culture. But at the same time, if your culture is a detriment to your health, you really need to examine it. And then, come to the realization that maybe it's not for you. If you have, a grandmother who had diabetes and your mother has diabetes and your sister has it, and, you have the potential of, getting diabetes, you have to be brave enough to question these things and say, well, what is it that is causing all of this? I don't want it for myself. I don't want it for my kids. So, what am I going to do about it now? Like, this is no laughing matter. Veganism is not a laughing matter. Laughing at vegans for their ethical and dietary choices is not funny. It's not a laughing matter. So, I would question these people. Like, what is it that you find funny about me, being a vegan, me being on a plant-based diet? And, why? Because I don't do what everybody else do, and I just want to put that out there because it's pretty much, it's getting old. I've been vegan 7 years now, and it's old, and you hear the same arguments and you hear the same questions from people all the time in regards to veganism, protein, and we were meant to eat meat, we were designed to eat meat because other animals eat other animals, and it's the cycle of life and all these other things. And these are arguments that we're tired of hearing. It's been debunked over and over and over again, and why do we keep coming back to it? And it comes to a point where people have to educate themselves on health and nutrition, because this is not something we're taught growing up, and especially in poor neighborhoods, and I'm from a pretty poor neighborhood growing up. We're not taught about health and nutrition. Like, there's no vegetable markets, in the hood. So, we have to educate ourselves as to, what we're supposed to be eating, what our bodies are designed to eat, what's easy for us to break down and why, as opposed to, accepting, the fried chicken spot in the neighborhood, or the Chinese restaurant, or the McDonald's, or any other fast food, inconvenient restaurant that happens to be in our neighborhoods. And believe me when I tell you, it's not there by accident, it's there by design. Everything that we've been taught about health and nutrition is, really been used against us. It's been used to destroy us. And we don't see past that because we can't get past our taste palette. Yeah, you like the way certain things taste, but you know what? There's a lot of tasty items when you go vegan as well. And we don't see that because, you've been taught that vegetables and fruit are bland. And it's really not. And if you really know what you're doing, you can come up with some awesome meals and awesome, recipes. But we have to get past this, idea that we have to eat meat to survive, or we have to eat dairy to survive, because it's total bullshit. Quite frankly, I'm tired of hearing it. And, it's up to us to, like I said, educate ourselves, to understand why the vegan or the one vegan you know, or two vegans you know, decide to live on a plant-based diet. You know, it's not a laughing matter, and that's for sure. It's not a laughing matter. It's nothing to joke about, because realistically, like I said, there are people in your family that you know that have died or are sick from their dietary choices, and we have to question, why is that? You know, and if you're not doing that and you're still laughing at vegans for their choices and making fun of them, and it's because of your ignorance, and I challenge you to not be ignorant. I challenge you to educate yourselves as to why we make the choices we make in regards to our health, and it's very important. And on that, I'm going to say, peace and love to everyone. I hope that people find this informative. I hope that it helps vegans that are dealing with these type of people to, deal with them, more better. Question these people, challenge them, dare them. I dare you to educate yourself as to why it's important that I eat a plant-based diet. Educate yourself, and I dare you and I challenge you to understand, why I don't eat meat and dairy, and see what you get, and unfortunately you're gonna still deal with these assholes that, everything's a joke and a laughing matter, and there's really not a lot you could do about that. You can't go around just punching people in the face, whenever you want to. I know, I would like to sometimes, but that's not reality. But I'm gonna say peace and love, family, and just moving forward, I hope you have better luck trying to educate and reach people and teach them why it's important that we eat a plant-based diet.